Hi, my name is Mackney, and I'm dead. I'd like to read you my reasons. The love that my daughter and I shared was truly special. She's such a sweet, kind, and gentle spirit. I am so sorry I will not be there to see her grow into a beautiful woman. It absolutely crushed me not to be in her life over the last 3 years. I worked very hard as a mother to build her confidence and self-esteem. She's smart, funny, considerate, but she didn't know it yet. I pray that she realizes her strengths and her confidence in herself will continue to grow. I love you dearly. My son was just entering kindergarten when I lost access to him. He is gregarious, outgoing, and a great athlete. He's smart and fearless. He could have just as much fun by himself as he could with other kids. Even the older boys in our neighborhood wanted to play with him. It absolutely breaks my heart that I will not be able to help him grow into a man. I love you too. I miss you both so much. My identity was taken from me as a result of this process. When it began, I was a commercial real estate broker. I lived by the golden rule and made a living by bringing parties together and finding common ground. My reputation as a broker was built on my honesty and integrity. When it ended, I was broke, homeless, unemployed, and had no visitation with my own children. I had no confidence and was paralyzed with fear that I would be going to jail whenever my ex-husband wanted. Nothing I could say or do would stop it. This is what being targeted by a psychopath looks like. This is the outcome. I didn't somehow change into a high conflict person or lose my ability to steer clear of the law. I've never been arrested, depressed, homeless, or suicidal before this process. The stress and pressure applied to me was deliberate, and nothing I could do or say would get me any relief. Nothing I or my attorney said to my ex-husband's attorney or the court made any difference. Truth, facts, evidence, even the best interests of my children had no effect on the outcome. The family court system is broken, but from my experience, it is not the laws, it's the lawyers. They feed off the conflict. They are not hired to reduce conflict or protect the best interests of the children, which is why third parties need to be involved. It should be mandatory for children to have a guardian ad litem with extensive training in abuse and aggression. It is absolutely shameful that the Fairfax County Court did nothing to intervene or understand the ongoing conflict. Judge Randy Bellows also used the children as punishment by withholding access for failing to file a tax receipt. The entire conflict centered around denial of access to the children. It was inconceivable to me that he would use children like this. This is exactly what my ex-husband was doing, and now Judge Bellows was doing it for him. To all my family, friends, and the people that supported me through this process, I am so sorry. I know my reactions and behavior throughout this process did not always make sense. None of this made sense to me either. I had no help, and the only suggestion I got from my attorneys was to remain silent. At first, I did what I was told, remain silent and listen to my attorneys. Then after I had given my ex-husband full custody to try and appease him, I learned about psychopathy and emailed Dr. Samenow about my concerns and asked him for help. Of course, I was ignored. As the conflict continued, I was forced to defend myself. When that didn't work, I thought I could get the help I needed by speaking out. There is no right or wrong way to defend yourself from abuse. Naively, I thought that abuse was abuse, and it would be recognized and something would be done. I thought speaking out would end the abuse, or at least get them to back off. It didn't. When no one did anything, they were emboldened. I took my own life because I had come to the conclusion that there was nothing I could do or say to end the abuse. Every time I got up off my knees, I would get knocked back down again. They were not going to let me be the mother I wanted to be to my children. People may think I'm a coward for giving up on my children, but I didn't see how I was going to heal from this. I have no money for an attorney, therapy, or medication. I have lost 4 jobs because of this process. I was going to be at their mercy for the rest of my life, and they had shown me none. Being alienated, legally abused, emotionally abused, isolated, and financially ruined are all recipes for suicide. I wish I was stronger to keep going, but the emotional pain and fear of going to court and jail because of exorbitant child support became overwhelming. I became paralyzed with fear. I couldn't flee, and I could not fight. I was never going to be allowed to recover. I wish I were better at articulating the psychological and emotional trauma I experienced. I could fill a book with all the lies and mysterious rulings of the court. Never have I experienced this kind of pain. I asked for help, but good men did nothing, and evil prevailed. All I wanted was a guardian ad litem for my children. Any third party would have been easily able to confirm or refute all my allegations, which is why none was ever appointed to protect the children or reduce the conflict. Abuse is about power and control. Stand up for the abused and speak out. If someone speaks out about abuse, believe them. Please teach my children empathy and about emotional invalidation and gaslighting, or they may end up just like me. God have mercy on my soul. I'm not Chris Mackney. Chris Mackney is dead. Does it matter? Does it feel more important when a woman says it? What if I told you that right now, my ex-husband, the one who played such a central role in me taking my life, now claims that he owns these words. My words are his. They don't belong to me. They belong to him. What if I told you that websites interested in promoting and discussing the abuse of women in marriage, the way that men use children to punish their wives? What if I told you that my ex-husband had ordered all of those websites to take my notes down because they didn't show him in a good light? That is what Chris Mackney's wife is doing. She is trying to take his words as her own, claim that she owns them, for no reason other than it doesn't show her in a particularly good light. She's trying to silence, to steal the only thing Chris has left, his words. We can't let that happen. I invite everyone who wants to see Chris's words spread across the internet as far and as wide as we can to copy and repost and share this video and all the other videos of the readings of Chris's note. If you would care that this happened to a woman, then you should care that it happened to Chris. It shouldn't happen to anyone, ever.